Hello. This is good. Alright, Planned Brotherhood is not affiliated or associated with Planned Parenthood. Seriously. Planned Parenthood is a registered trademark of Planned Parenthood Federation of America Incorporated. And they called us and they were like, oh, we're going to fucking sue you. And here's a fucking thing about that. So, disclaimer, no, Planned Brotherhood is affiliated with Planned Parenthood. Not affiliated. Fuck you, Planned Parenthood.
It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. It must have been, it must have been, it must have been a happy time. The sun would shine, the candy bars, Kool-Aid flowing like wine, the comic books, the TV shows, the bubble gum, the kitty cat.
Hi guys, thanks for listening to episode 106 of Planned Brotherhood. Did I just say ep? I hope I didn't say ep. One thing we want to address before the show gets going, there was a little bit of an audio hiccup, and so my mic doesn't come across that well, which I'm starting to think is a conspiracy. But it's bearable. Ed, first-time guest, joins us. He's adorable, and I guess that's about it. Enjoy the show.
It must have been, it must have.
I was going to say, you guys need to get on the paper or something, you know, just, I mean, it's cheesy.
Well, you live in Yakima. Are you talking about the Yakima paper?
Yeah, I'm talking about Yakima paper, yeah.
Yeah.
Your ass will never get in the Seattle paper.
Okay, let's, On Magazine is a Yakima
On Magazine,
thing, right? Okay.
yes.
Because how many Facebook friends do they have, though?
I don't know. They have like
more than
300
I don't know.
and they have like 300 and something fans. First of all, Ed, insulting. And is that the character you're going to do?
I'm sorry.
Or is
I
it
was
not
just
a
trying to pick my
character?
character for the night, you know.
No, they have like 300 and something fans. Who knows how many? I mean, I only know them from doing that movie quote trivia game on
Right,
there.
but they also gave us a good Facebook shout-out one time.
Was
they
it
mentioned
good?
Our show once before.
Really?
Yeah, because me and PJ will go and answer their movie trivia on Facebook from time to time because we're both fans of the page and they do that constantly.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, check out this podcast." Just based on our answering.
Oh,
trivia
that's
questions.
cool.
Yeah, so that was something.
Well,
I don't know if we saw a boost in numbers. I'd like to think we did.
Yeah, I didn't notice a big spike or anything like that.
No.
I mean, really, it's like the same 4 people always responding to those movie quote trivia
Right,
things.
me, you, Ed, no,
No. Wasn't
A couple of
aware.
people who were obviously Googling it.
Ryan Messler. I'm gonna give him a shout out because I hate him.
I think it's Ryan Messer.
Okay, my bad.
And he does Messer's movie
trivia.
trivia thing. I don't know, man. First of all, I don't know, like, when there's a movie quote trivia thing, and you put something from some obscure Japanese movie, and then someone has the answer on there within 3 minutes, I don't know how much I trust that, especially when it's on the computer.
Yeah,
I know
we're
it's
talking
the honor
strictly
system.
online because, yeah, it's all the honor system when it comes to that. Because who's not Googling that immediately and trying to look like the smarty pants, you know?
Well, see, if I don't know it, I'll Google it, but I don't
Not because
then
you'll,
put it...
not because you're cheating, just because you want to know the answer.
Right. I don't try
I'll
to
do the
pass
same
off
thing,
the answer
yeah.
as my own. But I don't know. I don't even know where we're going with this. But yeah, on Magazine, so we would answer on there. And I think one time they just made fun of you, like, real quickly or something like that. And they were like, hey, I gave this guy a hard time, but you should listen to his podcast. And in the plug wrote, like, I've heard half of one episode, and
No,
that was
that's
the
not
plug.
Exactly
it was something like that. Like, I've
That's
only
awful.
heard 1.5 episodes or something like that.
And didn't they warn about how explicit it might be?
Yeah,
too?
yeah. And you know, and speaking of
Yeah, let's get to this.
explicit,
And then to you, Ed, I promise.
they had one movie quote on there which was from The Aristocrats. The Aristocrats, which
Yeah,
is
you
one
got it
that I
right the
got,
first time.
which is you know, it's a movie that a lot
It's a
of people
documentary
know.
about one particular joke.
About one particular joke. They end up a lot of they interview a lot of stand-up comedians about it. And it's very nasty, very, very hard
'Cause
R.
that's the whole point of the joke, is be as gross as,
Right.
obscene as you can be.
Make it as hardcore as you can get.
Right.
And they had one, and it was something about Bob Saget. But so I wrote it in there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're correct."
Oh, so
And
you got the right answer. What
yeah.
was the question?
It was a
right?
quote, and it was something about
The Olsen twins. 'Cause
Yeah,
Bob Saget's all over that fucking movie.
yeah. It was like make a tape for the Olsen twins to hear this, or the kids from Full House, or something like that. And I put the Aristocrats, and then somebody put on there. I always get this confused with the Aristocats, which is that old was it Disney
Disney
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm no Ryan Messer. I don't know who put out that movie. And
he's got 3 shout-outs that he doesn't deserve already tonight.
And he's like, so someone was like, I always get that confused with the Aristocats, LOL, winky face. And then I wrote, easy to confuse, lots of talk about pussy in both of those movies. And then, so like, the next day, I've got like this little message from whoever the On Magazine god is, which
who
was like,
is it a guy or a girl? That's my first question.
I think it's a lady. I don't know why I think it's a lady. Maybe
she was offended by your use of the word pussy.
Yeah, makes you such a cunt. And but it was
Thanks
like
for the plug, by the way, guys.
Oh, after a lot of debate, I had to take that down. Got to keep it clean, guys.
But posted it publicly.
Like deleted my comment off of there. Yeah, which I would have rather her send me that message. But ever since then, I was like, you know what? Let people keep fucking Googling the answer and let one guy get the same answer every fucking time. But, I still go on there when I know the answer. And the thing is, I like to think I'm pretty good, although my movie trivia knowledge is worst in quotes. Like,
yeah, when it comes to quotes,
that's not my strong suit.
1 out of every 10 that On Magazine posts on Facebook, I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar to me immediately.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but don't exactly know what it's from right away.
Right.
And that's what it's like with most times. Like, now
Let me give you one real quick. Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call at the front desk.
Big Top Pee-wee, easiest thing I've ever done.
You're an idiot.
How about this one? Egg salady.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Ed.
Hey.
Ed is our guest. Ed, you were talking about how we need to promote ourselves better.
I was. Thank you. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think
Go
we're still
on.
talking about it.
I was gonna say, man, I felt a little out of my league here, man. Unless it was a quote
We
from.
just get right into it. I'm sorry.
I know. Unless
I know
it was
you're a first-time guest. It's been a long time since we've had.
I'm sorry, it's not a quote from the Prestige or something.
No,
like that.
well, whatever. I was gonna say Major Payne or Billy Madison.
Oh, I'd pull Billy Madison immediately.
My dad'll do the Major Payne laugh all day. The
On accident. Yeah. Oh no, he did it on purpose, right?
Yeah, he loved it.
Oh god.
How would you
Yeah,
suggest?
give us a tip or two.
Are you gonna put us in your CD liner notes or what?
My CD liner notes. If I had a band, man, I'm saying use the free shit, man. The newspaper,
But how do we
Is that
do
free?
that? Like, how do we promote ourselves?
Well, I mean, you've gotten in already, man, with your shout out.
We already shot that to the ground.
Yeah, with the lady we
Last
slammed for the last 4 minutes.
No, or I guess with the plug they gave you, the half a plug they gave you.
Yeah.
So you're suggesting write this lady an email and literally be like, hey, are you interested in writing up an article about us? Because I don't just want to take like an ad space in a paper
No.
and be like, hey,
Although I
listen
thought
to
about
us.
that. I know you guys are Yakima folk, but Seattle, the hip town that I live in, there's The Stranger.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
the weekly free circular, you know.
And there's a lot of self-promotion going on.
There's a
over
lot
there,
of
too.
self-promotion. So I thought about it. I'll tell you the most I've done, Ed, is PJ had some stickers made up with the logo that we're not allowed to use anymore.
Which was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, right? Do you own a sticker?
I do.
All right.
I do.
But so I had a pile of those, and I'll put them out at bars because that's the thing that people do. They'll put their flyers or their stickers or their pamphlets out. And so that's what it came down to. And they were gone the next day, but who knows? One guy could have taken them all to wipe his ass later. Who knows?
Or he was a big fan and wanted it for himself, man.
No, but maybe he became a fan. I'd like to think.
But it's not a good thing to put up a sticker and have them be gone. That's not a good thing. Like
No.
the sticker, you want to be there for a long time. Like I've got one on the.
That's not what I'm saying. I left a pile of stickers unstuck.
Oh.
And then they were gone the next day. Like I left them in a pile for people to grab and stick wherever they want.
That's interesting.
So
I'm
interesting that PJ left. Go on, Ed.
Dude, I've been in half-ass bands, man. And every single half-ass band I've been in, man, we got something. Every band I had a clip out from a newspaper, or it was for my parents. My little Asian parents. They saved everything, from these newspapers.
Is that the first Asian we've had on, by the way?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
I'm like the dirty Asian though, man. I mean, I'm not even like a real like.
But I mean, is your parents the one that like tipped off the newspaper to you? Like,
No,
how did
I
that
know.
happen?
I would tell them about it, and we'd be all happy about it too, you know.
but how are the newspapers knowing to write something about you?
The Zone, baby.
The
The Zone, this all
Explain
ages
the
club.
Zone.
Where you,
Let's let Ed explain the Zone, because I know exactly what it is, but nobody else does.
the Zone. First
Does that
word.
still exist?
No.
No.
Okay, go on.
I think dirty. I think. I had
Underage.
I had my first cigarette there, and some girl
Really?
gave it to
At
me.
what age, if you don't
I
mind
was
my asking?
no, that's fine.
What if,
I
what
think
if you did by my
I was
asking that one?
14, I think, man.
Okay.
I was 14. Man, I was sick as shit, man. But I was trying to hold my cool because
Sure,
people were
sure.
there. Zone is it was an all ages club. I think it closed down maybe 6 years ago. 7
Yeah,
years
that
ago.
was
been
a
a
while
while.
ago.
Yeah.
But it was popular among the kids, man.
I
They had
remember
nowhere else to go. That's
No,
why,
they had yeah.
I remember shooting a short film there once.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, yeah.
Bar top, and then being there with Matty Ribel as he would audition for short films and stuff. Actually, the first time I was ever at the Zone was with you, Nick, and it might have been your first time too. We went there with our old roommate Randy, who we've talked about before.
Sure.
We had a video camera, and we were like running around doing like the videotaping people thing, and we videotaped this girl who was there. And like I remember being like sort of on the fly making up a sketch to do with her.
I kind of remember
Where
this,
like
yeah.
Randy hits on her and like she hits him in the face, but like my joke was that, and she had no idea, nor did anybody, but the whole time I was just filming her tits the entire time. I mean, joke. Meanwhile, later on to jerk off to. We saw that girl at Sports Center tonight. She was
Really?
talking to us on and on and on about the Mary lighter that Heather was holding.
That's that chick?
That girl named Kat. Yeah, that was her.
Do you guys know her too? You guys
Kat?
know her? Yeah.
I know her from
Well,
just that one day
Oh.
more than 10 years, or about 10 years ago.
Yeah, he knows her from the tits he jerked off to 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, I never went back to those.
That was her?
Yeah.
That's who you taped?
Yeah, that's who I taped
Sick,
about 10
man.
years ago. Why, you know that girl?
You know this
I
girl?
went to high school. Did you? She's got a horrible reputation, man. Horrible.
All I know is that she's
By
sitting
horrible,
there.
Do you mean WHORE-able?
I mean, like,
Do you think she gives a damn about her bad reputation?
I don't think so, man.
All I know is that she was sitting there tonight, like taking shots, drinking, smoking cigarettes and stuff. And then Heather was like, "Oh, how old are your kids?" 3 and 7 months. And I was like,
Right.
"Sweet."
Well, did
Yeah.
you hear that question? Were you guys laughing about that? She asked me, first thing,
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
how's your marriage going? What the
how's your
fuck,
marriage?
man?
Wait. Go back. What's this?
Well, I walk up to the bar, and she's already there, this girl named Kat.
Uh-huh.
I walk up, and she recognized me, and the first thing she asked me, how's your marriage going?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like,
Like she had heard
Great,
something
thanks.
or something like that.
yeah,
She had
yeah.
heard this rumor that
I'm
I
not
was
sure I
spreading
knew you
around.
were married, Ed. How
Really?
long you been married?
Been married, seriously, can we edit this so, like, my answer is faster?
Yeah, we'll do that. Sure.
I will have been married for 4 years in September.
And how's that going?
Fantastic.
I'm speaking
thank
as Cat right now.
you.
Somebody asked me, semi-regular at work asked me, it's actually these two ladies asked me how long I had worked at Olive Garden, and I was walking into the kitchen. This was 4th of July or the day before or something, busy day. And
Is it a
I was,
Saturday in the park?
I was ignoring that and walking into the kitchen, and I was like, oh, 5 years. I was like, just had my 5-year anniversary, really depressing. I don't want to talk about it. And then about half an hour later, they asked me why my marriage was so depressing. They didn't ask me how long I had worked there. They had asked me how long I had been married. So I'm really glad that they asked the follow-up question after that, because although I have been trying to get in one of their pants the whole time, but
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm fucking old, but yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I did hear her like, "How's your marriage going?" Like, what a fucking weird. But she's a weird girl. I mean, she was
is.
just like.
And what's her 7-month-old
She's not
doing
normal.
there while she's going on
Well,
and on about
her
lighters
7-month-old wasn't
and
there.
Ed's marriage? I know, but that's the point. Like,
Oh.
why isn't she with the 7-month-old?
I forgot she had a kid, man.
Right.
She got 2 kids.
Do you think she listens to this podcast?
Oh God, I
Cat?
hope so.
I don't know. I hope so.
Why would she?
Send us a titty picture if you do. I already got
Shit.
some videos.
Sick.
I wonder if I have any of those videos in
That's
it.
crazy.
I don't have any of those videos anymore. I
I
used
wish you did, because you shot some. At least they were funny to me when I was 19. Those videos were hilarious. In fact, I wanted to bring one up because was this shot at the Zone? And I don't know that I've ever mentioned this on the show before. The joke was, and this is based on a Nick Cage story that I'll then tell afterwards. Like you were at, I want to say Shopco. We were at Shopco, something like that. Or maybe the Yakima Mall.
Well, it was the Yakima Mall
Okay.
downstairs.
So you know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
In fact, take over. I'm too drunk.
It was based on a Nick Cage story of something that he said he saw in a public restroom. So it's not even that funny.
It's pretty funny. Just if you visualize it, it's really funny.
There was the downstairs bathroom, and we were running around with that video camera, and I
Public
just said,
yeah.
and I just said, come in 30 seconds or something like that. And then you guys come in,
Not knowing,
and
like we just
rolling
came in with
tape.
the camera. Yeah.
This already has too much buildup. And
it's funny.
it was coming rolling tape, and then you guys came in, and the video camera was on, and I'm standing at the urinal, and I think there was somebody
There was somebody else
Next
That's the
to
only
me.
reason it was so funny.
in my pants. I'm using the urinal, and my pants and my underwear are pulled all the way down around my ankles. So it's like you go just to take a leak real quick, and you pull your pants all the way down.
Like you're
to
5,
do it.
but you're not. You're
Yeah.
not 5.
And I think that was the Nick Cage story. Was that there was
I
like
can
a
tell you the
5-year-old?
That's why I thought Shopco, because I was at Shopco with Nick K, and it's kind of sad because the kid was obviously like legitimately retarded.
Oh,
So
really?
he didn't know any better. He had sweatpants. He was 22 years old. But yeah, me and Nick K walk into the Shopco bathroom together because we both had to pee, and there's like 3 urinals set up with the barriers. So who knows if the guy next to him knew what was going on? But the kid fully had his pants and underwear around his ankles. I call him a kid because Down syndrome makes you look like that kind of sometimes.
I think Down syndrome makes kids look like adults.
Yeah, better point. You're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so you reenacted that on camera. You were not ashamed to show your ass in public a lot
I used
when you
to
were a
enjoy
teenager.
it, man. I still like it. Like I'll do it
Well,
for
you
a
do it with
laugh.
your wife now for a laugh, but she's seen it anyway.
Yeah, like the
Just put her
opportunity
dick in
doesn't.
there.
The opportunity doesn't come up a lot anymore. But I would always do that. I'm not ashamed of my ass.
Maybe you should be. Even your 18-year-old ass. Not something I wanted to see.
I don't know. Mom always said I had a cute little butt.
Where's Mom now, PJ?
I don't
Let's ask
know.
ourselves that.
If I could ask Ed, I always come into work to Ed like, "Mom just threatened suicide. She's gonna kill herself today." And you never guess what happened with my mom today.
Oh yeah, should we establish that you two work together?
Sure.
Yeah.
How's that working
Yeah.
out?
Good. Actually, I get confused with like the stories I hear on your podcast from
Sure.
listening every week.
As
And
a
I-
devoted fan.
As a devoted fan, I'm like, that sounds familiar. Did PJ tell me that already?
Oh,
and I'm trying to
God.
remember
Are you
where
saying
I got
that's a
the
repeat
information
story?
from.
Yeah. But it's hard to tell when you work with them because it could be from the show, it could
Yeah.
be from everyday life. Yeah.
Well,
For
a lot of the
instance-
times we'll talk about it on the show, and that's what reminds me of it, or really gets me like thinking about it a lot.
Sure.
To where, like, then I'll bring it to work.
We should call this episode Inside Baseball. Right?
Dumb.
No, I'm serious. Like, we're talking all about the inner workings of the show.
That's true. You cannot deny that. I cannot deny that.
Can I deny the fact that you're wearing a...
Dude, it's fucking hot in here. I know I look like the color purple right now, but good God.
That really caught me off guard today. He's wearing a blue bandana. It caught me off guard,
Do-rag.
but I
A
liked it.
do-rag.
What was that guy from Survivor that lied about his grandma dying?
Johnny Fairplay.
Reminded me of that. Yes,
Really?
Johnny Fairplay.
Baseball, yeah.
I was gonna say Johnny Be Good.
That was
not
Anthony
Chuck
Michael
Berry. Yeah.
Hall. Take that, Messer. Anthony Michael Hall, Uma Thurman.
I told you I liked it though.
Yeah.
You did. You also said, I used to rock that look a couple years ago, and I'm like,
yeah. Till my dad got a job.
It always makes me aware that, like, I'm always doing some sort of look. Like, and I admit that I'm always
You are. You don't
Just like
admit
I'm-
that to me.
just like I'm always doing. Well, I mean, there's the thing where, like, I'll wear a tie every day for 6 months straight, or
Has that ever happened 6 months straight? You committed that long?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Recently?
Like this last year, I was always wearing.
I've known you in this last year. That did not happen.
I mean, well, like in my everyday life, maybe not when I was going down to
Sure.
Seattle and stuff
So
like
you
that.
wore a tie every day,
I was wearing a tie,
but
yeah,
you do
pretty much
undo the
every
top
day.
button, kind of sloppy, right? Yeah.
Bring it down a little,
Yeah,
throw on
yeah.
the cardigan
you have a
over.
unique look, but it's always different, and I think that's the only reason it's unique.
Yeah,
I think you've got style though. I think I've told you that
thank
before.
you.
I think you got style, man.
Yeah.
Really? Explain.
It's the
Explain yourself.
I don't know,
Well,
indie
Nick,
look.
do
I don't
you-
know.
do you gotta do
You're
the same
aware of
thing
what
all
you're
the time?
You're totally aware of what you're wearing.
Yeah.
But it looks thrown together. You know, diabolical. You got it planned out, man. You got the shit planned out.
When I came to work the first
Pretentious
time in a
motherfucker.
ponytail,
Right? Thanks for capping it off with that. That's what I was waiting for.
when I came to work in a ponytail for the first time, which is like 2 months ago, Ed's like, "Hey, dude, I like it," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." And he's like, "What's the matter? You look really embarrassed," because like I was just so fucking embarrassed and so aware of like everyone who
Yeah.
was
Then why do it?
because it's one day of embarrassment, but I like it, and now I do it all the time. I mean, you should have seen me the first day that I wore the ponytail to class. I was like super duper embarrassed.
Yeah.
And
Even
the-
for a guy like me, man, I keep my hair short and I'll get a fade. I'll wait till my hair gets really, really long. I'll do a fade every maybe month and a half.
I'm not even sure I know what that means. Can you explain?
A fade, short on the sides,
like,
long on
think,
top. You know.
think
Oh.
Eddie Winslow.
Got it.
Thanks.
Got it. Okay.
Perfect.
And I'm already anticipating, oh, nice haircut. And I get
God.
embarrassed at that. They're compliments. I still get embarrassed. You know,
Dude.
let alone long hair and finally it gets to the length where I can throw it in a ponytail.
Yeah, I know
I
it.
can see your worries.
Think about the day when I shave my head and I go into work and everyone's got to make the comment. Not even just the comments, but the like, did
Well,
you
we talked
get?
about the Seagal comments.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
there's the skull, but I'm talking about if I shave my head, if I were to shave
Okay.
it to the skin,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to come to work, and not only is every single person there going to comment, which surprises me that like not even a couple of people don't, because I go out of my way to not make those comments because I know you, or I'll be like, hey, how many times have you heard this today, or something like that. But like they'll come up and ask you, did you cut your hair? You know, when I've gone from my hair the length it is now to shaving it completely off, they'll ask me, did I cut my hair? And it's the same thing with everything. Like I wear a black shirt to work. That's my uniform. But every now and then when I wait tables and set a bartender, wear a white shirt. And you've got to listen to 40 people who you work with make a comment about you being in a white
Like
shirt
they
that
didn't
day.
see you the day before.
Yeah, it's like, let's just calm down, people. It's a white shirt. Like,
Let's
guess
call
what?
some people out by name. We're talking about Ed, right?
It's like I wear T-shirts, you know. And do you remember when cops would come into A&W? What our boss Joe would do? He'd always throw his hands up in the air. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. How you doing? Welcome to A&W. We got the Dagwood burger.
He was at least slightly retarded.
Yeah, yeah.
And our boss, which
Yeah.
made it worse. But I'm not even throwing the word retarded around
Yeah.
like I usually do. Like, I'm pretty sure he wasn't all there.
Yeah.
Quick story. Our first job, A&W restaurant, we were both 16 at the time we got the job.
This is in the mall, right?
No,
No,
it's not.
It was 72nd Pacific Avenue.
This is Tacoma,
Oh,
Washington.
in Tacoma.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this is a real one. This is like with drive-up car hop service.
It no longer
Okay.
exists,
This is not like a KFC A&W hybrid
Yeah.
or anything
No.
like that.
which is all you see anymore.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it exists as a brand outside of root beer at all anymore.
Yeah.
And it doesn't on
I heard
72nd
that.
and Pacific. But speaking of cops, because they got robbed one time before me or you ever had a job there. When we were living in Tacoma, they would
I
have
remember
these
that.
local things. It was Crime Stoppers.
Mhm.
And so, like,
Yeah, I
on
remember.
local TV.
They were great to watch.
Yeah, because
They
do
were
that-
like these fucking Josh Hodgins directed local commercials that Ed has been the star of before.
really, we got
just
to talk
fucking
about that
terrible
next.
to watch.
But yeah, basically it's like this crime happened in this area. We're going to reenact it with local actors, or in the case of Joe, our former manager,
The people who it
playing
happened to.
himself in the reenactment of the robbery that happened at A&W. And it was the funny. We made fun of him long before he was ever our boss. That's
I know.
the funniest thing. At 14 and 12 years old, we're joking around because he looks retarded on screen, more so than in real life, I'd even say.
Yeah.
And so there was an obvious actor reenacting the robbery, but then Joe's there playing himself behind the counter, and he just has his hands up and he's looking real dopey. And then he's the one interviewing me when I go in to get my first job ever.
I know it.
And
I know.
I knew it. He was like a local celebrity. He was the Vern Funk.
Wait, what was
At that
this
time.
used for? What was this video used for?
It was like, do you have any information on this robbery?
Right. They would do a reenactment of a robbery or some local crime, and then they would give like the sketch drawing.
get $1,000
at the
bucks
end.
if you
You guys should
give a
like
tip
dig
that-
this thing up.
Well,
Dig it up.
It would be
Oh my
great.
god!
Dig it up. Put it on YouTube.
sure
that
he's
exists
got
on
it
the
on
internet?
tape.
No, it can't. It can't.
You
I'm
gotta
sure
call the
he's got
police
it, too.
department, man.
Maybe. It'd be like, you know what? This looked a little familiar to me. I may have some info
I don't even
about
think
this
that guy
now.
ever got caught. We would have heard about it.
Yeah,
eventually.
I definitely doubt it. But there was a cop that came into where we work now, which I've been trying so hard to quit saying the name of where we work because one of our bosses she was like, "How do I find your Brotherhood show? I've been trying to listen."
Ooh.
I just say, "Please don't listen."
Yeah. So I won't drop the name of. You're an OG, original gangster.
Yeah, nice. This cop came in and like fucking Barnaby and everybody's coming up, making the jokes like, "Oh, are you here to arrest this guy, bartender?
Oh, come on.
His crimes of being ugly." And oh wait, it wasn't me. Hey, I swear I've been at work all night.
I hate that. Like when a siren goes by, they're coming to get you.
Oh God, yeah.
I fucking hate that.
And
fucking stab yourself in the throat.
Anybody who gets pulled over in front of our restaurant, everyone comes up to me and says that. But yeah, so this cop's there getting to-go food, and everyone's made that joke. And then I was like, "Hey, tell me honestly, do you get that joke everywhere you go?" And he goes, "Everywhere I go." Like, he was just like fucking disgusted by it.
That surprises me. Yakima cops seem unaware as a whole to me, but
no, but that was terrible.
This guy got it. He got it.
There was something else I was going to say, but
all right,
I
we'll
forget.
Wait. Don't worry about it.
I guess it doesn't matter, really.
No, I will actually wait.
I mean, where are you
Ed,
guys
shut
going to
up
go
for a
with it? It was when you were talking about. Oh, I want to talk about the commercial that Ed was in. And is that
right.
anywhere on the internet?
Oh man, I wish it was. I don't
I
even
think
know how
some
to get
things
that.
are even too obscure for the internet.
Yeah,
I honestly did.
I bet it's on Josh Hodgins' reel though.
Which
we talked about Josh Hodgins pretty recently.
Creator of Jackson Hole.
Jackson Horn.
I made that mistake the first time too. Well, let's hear about this, Ed.
Are you talking about the commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, Mills Music, man.
Okay. Is that like a record
local
store?
music?
Mills Music. Okay, it's a music store downtown.
Like musical instruments.
Musical instruments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And my drummer was actually the manager there, and they were shooting a video, and so I got to play the part of this cool dude in a bartender uniform.
You're wrong for that role.
Well, yeah.
I don't even know you. Why would I say that? Why would I say that? It's like the third time I've
Filipino.
Well, as far as
Filipino.
I never thought that joke was funny. I wish I could use it. I really don't think anybody would get it, especially in Yakima. I don't think people in Yakima have heard of Filipinos, man. Unless you're in the lower valley.
It's easy. It's what you get when you cross a faggot and a rhino. Who hasn't heard of a Filipino?
Go on. I want to hear more about this.
But this finished project sounds different than how I thought it went. But please continue.
The finish. Okay. Well, I was a dude who. What did I? Do you remember? Did I have a trumpet? Or
Did you see it when it actually aired?
A saxophone.
No, I never saw the finished product. But I thought that it was like you and your band. Like out there raking leaves or shoveling or something, and then a Mills Music van drives by, and as it passes you, your shovels and shit magically turn into like a guitar and a saxophone.
I hope that's it. I hope that's it.
I actually think.
And you go, "Thanks, Mills Music."
It's worse than that. Actually,
that cannot be true.
No. I think I was holding, of all things, a flute or a trumpet. And
Skin flute.
I might.
God damn it! I was sipping.
Skin trumpet.
And whatever.
Skin. Yeah.
Either my hands were empty or I had some cheesy instrument, and it turned into a guitar. That's what happened.
Because they were trying to like make awareness. They were having a guitar sale or something.
Letting them know that, we do band rentals, but we can rock the fuck out.
And magic. This turned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But remember, then I pitched a commercial idea to you guys, which you guys totally should have used. Because like, if you're Josh Hodgins and you're making the local commercials, do you have to make them so fucking gay? Like, you're not even doing it ironically. Like, you're just like putting no effort into it. Like, why does it have to be so cheesy?
Yeah.
Why does a cartoon
Are the production
fish...
values at least good?
No, they're terrible.
No.
I mean, every local commercial I see...
I only ask because
assume...
you're using his first and last name right now.
Well, I mean, he's a professional. He's an artist. I'm allowed to do that.
Okay.
Like, every local commercial I see, I just assume it's him. And I can't say for sure whether or not it is. But, like, for that one, I was like... It was something about like trading in your old instruments for a new guitar or something like that. Like, I don't know if it's a trade, but get rid of your old shit and get a new one. And like, I had this this idea for a series of commercials, and I know it's not good ideas, but I was like, like if it's gonna star your band, like you guys should all wear like baseball uniforms, and you go up to this baseball diamond, like go to the community college and go, and it's like this whole thing of baseball, and then they throw the ball, and then like you swing a guitar at it, and like so basically you're just fucking like destroying guitars by hitting baseballs with it. And that's why and then it's like, need a new guitar, go to Mills Music. And one where there's like a little kid crying, and you go up and you're like, what's wrong? And oh, my kite's stuck in the tree. So you're like, oh, hang on a second. You go grab this big ass fucking guitar and throw it up in the tree to knock the kite down, and it crashes to the ground. It's like, need a new guitar. Go to Mills. Why does it have to be a van drives by and it magically turns into something else, and you go, thanks, Mills Music? Like, why does it have to be so gay? Like, take 5 seconds and be a little more clever. Because he's got the cameras and the ambition, which is two things I don't have, which is why I would never shoot that commercial. But, like, just do something. Don't be like, oh, I just got to do it. I just got to get it done because that's what I do now.
It's not like he's that busy to where they got to use the first idea on the freaking drawing.
Nobody's that busy to where they should be putting their name to where they're putting their name on something that is just like so bad, so cheesy. Like I said, if it's ironically trying to be.
Which, going back to Vern Funk, anybody in the Tacoma, Seattle area knows. Like, I think they know what they're doing. Honk when you drive by Vern Funk.
He does. But
they do bad movie parodies.
This is like really, you just want to be one of the millions of guys in the millions of cities around the world just doing these cheese fucking ass commercials.
Like, it's a gig, right?
But he's an artist.
Is he?
I mean,
I haven't seen Jackson Horn.
He doesn't wait tables or anything. I mean, he does this.
And he does
it very seriously.
He doesn't offer his own.
But the thing is,
he takes the notes that are given to him.
If you pitch a good idea to Mills Music, they're not going to say, "No, I'd rather have you do this and make you do the gayest fucking commercial in town." You can do
that
your
bad,
own
huh?
shit.
Well,
I never saw it.
I never saw it. To do with that.
But like I say, every shitty commercial I see, I don't know, but I assume that he directed it, and it just makes me mad. Because I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Oh, you know what? After I listened to your, I think 2 podcasts ago, you were talking about Beware the Glare. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Josh Hodgins commercials. And,
is he behind that?
I don't know what you said it was. PJ, I wasn't sure.
Behind everything, yeah.
I finally saw it. We don't go to the movies that often.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a movie here in a while.
The kids are just as ugly as he said, man. And yeah, it was bad. And that awkward puberty kid, I can smell the BO coming off the screen,
And he's like 4 feet taller than all of his little friends.
Yeah.
Take your fucking feet off the seat or I'll fucking...
He did not want to be there. He totally did not want to be there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's just...
I think my theory, back on episode 102, I'll go ahead and dare say, is that it was the general manager's nephew or grandchild.
Yeah.
Like, he just puts them up there.
Well, like I said, he seems like the PJ of the group, just the kid who is in that awkward stage of puberty but isn't hanging out with the older group of kids yet.
Right.
Like,
you're still in that stage. You're
exactly. Like, for instance, when mom and dad have a card party that I go to these days, I still go hang out with the 5-6-year-olds because I can't relate to anyone else, and I can just make these kids respect me. But
I'm dying to see this. I doubt that's on the internet either.
But I don't know if I already said this, but it just makes me want to, I'd like for my kid to be in the arts and stuff like that and whatever she wants to do. But if she was like, oh, yeah, I can be in this thing that shows up before movies. If my kid was ugly, I wouldn't want to let my kid do that because I know how many fucking potheads are going to go see the new Harold and Kumar movie and just bust on my kid the entire time. And those are the audiences that I'm going to be there with seeing the same movies as them. And I got to listen to them rank on my kid the whole time. I don't want to do that, you know?
That would be unfortunate. Your kid's adorable, though. You lucked out.
But, see, at least that commercial has a little bit higher production value. I mean, the actors were not quality at all, but fucking everything else. All right. So we could professionally segue into the music thing.
Oh, God.
So, Ed.
Go for it.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're recording.
We're always on.
I've had, 2 or 3 beers, man, and I seldom drink, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you're hanging out with the Alders boys.
Feeling good, yeah.
It's always all good in the hood.
It's all good. So the new music thing.
First of all, for any new listeners...
they'd have to be brand new at this point.
Yeah. up through the last 3 or 4, we've used a different song, but nothing against you, Ed.
That's all right.
The
You canned my old shit. Sorry, I interrupted.
No. The Planned Brotherhood song that people know and love. PJ, go ahead and sing it.
I can't remember. Contraceptives don't mean a thing. It started when Mom had a fling.
Sure, that's all we need.
And PJ and Nick are out of control.
Crash the airways with the microphone. Sure. That's Ed. Ed, you were responsible for that.
Yeah.
You've gotten a lot of compliments.
Sorry
in the
about
past.
that.
No,
really?
don't
You're welcome.
apologize.
You're welcome, man. It's a pleasure.
So Ed was responsible for a theme song. It's funny that it took you this long to come on the show.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you, man, I was nervous about coming on. What do we talk about, And
Well, now you know how it works.
it's been
breezy.
It's the
been
same
good.
conversation we had at the bar earlier.
Yeah.
Except for now you have to remember to keep the microphone
Yeah.
in your face.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the only difference. But we're working on a new song, right?
I brought the guitar. Your wife and kid are sleeping, PJ. But
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully we can toss around some lyrics tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks ago, I came to PJ with some ideas, and it was really specific, and I understand the direction you guys want to go with this, make it a little more general.
You're saying our directions were really specific?
No. Like the lyrics of the song were specific.
The direction
to
of the song.
Nick and PJ
and
things we've talked about and our religion and our parents and stuff like that.
Sure.
When we were saying like more general, like we've been using the Daniel Johnston song,
Oh, way to drop his name. Nobody knew. Nobody knew before now.
which is like it's got kind of the essence.
Of what we're looking for.
it fits the mood of
Right,
the
without
podcast.
being specific about
Whether it
anything
does
we've
or
talked
not,
about.
the tone seems right.
Yeah.
Very.
As opposed to the last piece of shit.
Over the last 2 weeks, I've been sending PJ text messages, and he's giving me specific direction. You actually apologized, or you said, am I sounding like an asshole? And I don't think so at all. And I appreciate you being so open with me.
The thing is that I was in Seattle with Nick, and you're sending us all these things to where like
And
you're
we listened
obviously
to it. I
at
was
home
listening to it
working
with him. Yeah.
and Nick and I are just sitting there just like
ripping
off a bong and like just fucking like drinking beer and stuff like that.
It, though, I feel like.
No, yeah.
But that's exactly what I felt like we were doing, was judging it. We're like, no, dude, change this.
No.
And who are
it
we to
should
say
be
that?
like that. I'm up for the task, man. I mean,
Right. It's all discussion, right?
I think the first song, the first song that I wrote, I thought it was great, and
we loved it. And our listeners loved it. Yeah.
But I agree, it's time to move. You guys had your 100th episode. If
Right,
I would have had this ready by the 100th episode, I
No, but
think that would have been great.
This
But
might be a bold statement, but I feel like by the time this one posts, maybe we'll have the song ready.
Yeah.
I'm
maybe
hoping
the
so.
episode will open or at least end with better to end, because then
Yeah.
it's like totally catch everybody.
And
off guard.
if the final product isn't done yet, we've got the files Ed sent us, some rough
Yeah.
copies of where it's going.
I even asked PJ, maybe they can, if we have several copies, we can vote.
Get someone to vote.
Maybe?
It's hard to get a lot of our audience participation on
Yeah.
this show, but
As it turns
with 2
out, which
downloads
is
a week,
weird, because our downloads are decent enough.
yeah, there are people
I don't
listening.
want to discredit the listeners that are listening because we appreciate it, but we're just asking you to participate.
Yeah.
If only briefly. Like, we want to
Yeah,
hear.
so if we put out like a bunch of different versions of lyrics for a new song, and task the listener to
Sure.
say what they like or don't like.
Right. And I'll be honest with you, Ed. When the first draft, I love the sound of the song that you sent.
Yeah.
But I think PJ relayed to you. My only problem was the point is, like, we're abrasive enough as it is on the actual show, right? So, like, to throw in, I don't remember the exact lyrics because it's been a little while now.
Oh, I can.
But like, let's get rid of the swears altogether.
Yeah.
In the opening theme,
Sure.
Like, let's make it a little more broad and a little less about us specifically.
Yeah,
That's all I'm asking.
I wrote the lyrics hanging out with PJ at the bar.
yeah.
Middle of the
Oh,
day,
really?
drunk. as
It's
fuck.
funny because Ed and I will talk about it, and I'll be like, "Oh, something that sounds like this," and he'll come up 5 minutes later.
Which
when
is amazing. That's a
you and
great
I have
skill.
been trying for 3 weeks since Ed first sent us that file to come up with one line.
I know it's so hard. Like, we're counting on you to write everything. Or no, I'm talking to you, the listener, now. But if our names aren't in it and if there's no swearing in it, because any new listeners, we want to catch them off guard.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds pleasant enough until we diss our stepmom or our dad for the first time. Like, 4 minutes into an episode, you know?
I wrote those lyrics. I have them on me, and I know they'll probably never see the light of day
How
in the
dare
form
you.
of music.
Uh-huh.
But maybe I can share it with you guys today,
Yes,
and share it
please.
with the listeners, and maybe.
He's got it right in his front pocket like we
That's right.
planned this.
I know it's like a magic trick. Maybe
Which
we
we'll
can.
get to also.
I'd like to dedicate this to your family, man. And is that all right?
Yeah,
Is
go
that all right?
for it. This
Okay.
is perfect.
Do you want to
this
bust out the guitar?
This is the
or-
most prepared guest we've ever had.
I don't have I don't have music for it, but I've got the
okay.
lyrics. You know, it's a simple rhyme scheme.
Uh-huh.
I haven't even read through it in like 2 weeks, so I mean, if I
Don't
don't
be
have the
embarrassed,
rhythm
buddy.
right, it's okay. But
Right.
this is the idea. Again, it was too specific, and I totally agree with the direction you guys want to go with the song. I have another one. I don't know if he showed it to you.
No, we were talking about it earlier today.
okay.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
heard those yet.
Well,
You read the
Maybe
lyrics
I'll sing
for
it
it.
for you.
Oh,
tonight.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like those.
You talking about the Hungry Hippos?
Hungry
Yeah.
Hippos, yeah, I
Okay,
like that.
okay. You know, it's childish. Anyways, this
Which
is...
we are, which our show is.
Sets the right tone. Sets the kiddie table.
All right.
So this is for mom and dad. Okay. Beer and whiskey, we do it all. Stoned and drunk in Kingdom Hall. Mom's a drunk, dad's a dick. He's now a pussy. His role has flipped. Shitty mother, she feeds the fire. Our podcast downloads are even higher. It's therapy for the world to hear. By the end of this song, mom's had a case of beer.
Yeah, and see, unlike the last one where it's like, all the ladies now take off your clothes, which Nick and I have never enticed any lady to ever take off their clothes.
That was my only problem with the last song.
Like-
Please take off your clothes.
Every
Because I've never, that's happened 3 times in
Yeah.
my life, literally.
every word of that one is true. With
Seriously, I was
Dad
stuck.
being a dick, and now the rules flipped, and everything like that
Right.
is fucking right on there. But that's the thing is like it's not what the entire show is about.
Yeah.
is,
No, and that's what I'm just worried about us being painted to a corner with our opening song.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
was my
yeah,
only
yeah.
critique, is if it's a little vaguer than that, and that's why I'm asking the listeners to help out.
Just
too.
kind of shows how just a song that shows how immature we are.
I'm glad the world could hear it, though.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole world.
No,
you
I'm
remember-
absolutely happy that you did that.
Yeah. It's awesome. Do you remember the Hungry Hippos line? Although we've got a recorded version of that.
We got a recorded version.
Yeah. You guys can talk for a second. I'm gonna go turn on Sophie's music. We woke her up.
All right.
Do you remember the lyrics?
I remember the lyrics. I mean,
Okay.
it's not as clever, I guess, and it's very generic. You think maybe should I blow it? Should I blow it here, like right here?
Well, I'd say go for it.
What's again? You know, we're following the direction in the context of a song. I think it works really well. Again, I'm here to hopefully toss around some lyrical ideas.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it starts off: hungry, hungry hippos on the carpet. Our lips are smacking gum that we bought from the market. We couldn't have any more fun. And I mean, you know, I'm not speaking it; it's being sung over very catchy.
Sure. Yeah.
For the music,
I can see why you didn't want to necessarily relay the lyrics.
yeah, yeah. If anybody plays music, it's in the key of E major 1-4-5-4 progression. Really easy.
I think that's
All
obvious.
right. Yeah. Duh.
No, I like it. And then the hook was the one that you sent to me and PJ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and sing it because it was stuck in my head for like 2 days after I heard
That's
it.
what I'm going for, man.
Yeah, these are the good times.
Yeah.
Well,
These are the good times. Yeah.
I like that. I love everything about
And
that.
then we're scrounging up our change just to get
These
some
are-
cash, spending
Wait.
it on junk just to wind up in the trash. Said these are the good times.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
I love those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's good. It's good.
Especially the music part of it. Lyrics tweak, but I'm kidding.
Singer tweak.
But well, I mean, we will all get together and work on. Not that those lyrics are bad or terrible, which I apparently was going to say by any means, but just to like, you know, if it's going to be finalized,
Yeah.
like just have a lot of options out there to decide on. Like, I'm a
Absolutely.
fucking asshole.
I think
Yeah.
going through again, like I texted you, I mean, going through this process it's now getting fun now that I can get some input.
Right.
I have yet to get input, but I'm anticipating this input, and that's what I'm looking forward to, you know, so.
I was vicariously giving input. I was telling PJ what to text you back.
I feel like
We
you're
listened to that
the
last
one to
time.
give it, since you're the one who actually like listens to music and has listened to music
All PD
and
knows of music is Glee
And Rent.
Rent.
Glee.
Glee, and Glee.
just because I like Glee, like that means that I now know, like, you know, fucking Kanye and Journey and everything like that. Okay,
You didn't know Don't Stop Believing before Glee came along.
No, but that's
Before
what I'm
you
saying.
became a Gleek. Is that the official term?
It's got my palate more.
Gleek, really?
Gleek.
That's what they call
amazing.
Yeah, Gleek, geek. I get it.
I'm not with it, man. I've never heard that terminology before.
I have, because when you accidentally gleek on somebody, you know what that means, right? The spit that actually comes between your teeth.
them. Yeah,
Is
like,
that what it is?
yeah. It's like you put some water in your mouth and you like.
I
gleek
could
on
never.
somebody.
I could never willfully gleek.
I remember being able to do it as a little kid.
Really?
Yeah, but not anymore. There's a lot of stuff I used to think that like I was special because I could do as a little kid, like make this noise from your throat.
Oh yeah, you
Like,
used to pull that shit.
I
out
thought
all
I was the
time.
only one that
I
could
doubt
do that for
even
some
registered
reason.
on a mic.
Yeah,
I really did.
me too. I also used to think that I made up the word imbecile.
He tried to convince me, like from 11 to 13. No, imbecile is my word. I'm sorry that Webster's dictionary existed before I did, but I'm still making this claim.
And do you remember where you picked that up?
Oh, I mean, obviously I heard it somewhere, but yeah,
I think Eddie Winslow said it.
I admit that I tried to claim that was mine. I mean, there's lots of embarrassing.
But where
shit.
does that come from?
You know, I
I
was
used to think I could do a good Donald Duck.
yeah,
Remember
you
that?
couldn't. You used to also
Let's
think you
hear
could
it.
do a
Let's
good
hear it.
Wacko
Hold on.
Warner. You also used to think you could do a good Wacko Warner from Animaniacs.
No, you're mixing me up with Nick Kay.
No, that was you.
I'm a drummer. That's what he used to do. But here's Donald Duck. Are you ready? I haven't pulled it out since 16 years old. Wait, that was not it.
Wow, that's nothing.
It used to be better. When I was 16, I was not a smoker. I feel like that's what ruined it for me.
I don't even know where that sound is coming from, man.
Let me do it again. When he's angry? When he's angry.
That is the best Jurassic Park impression I've heard in years.
I was gonna say maybe a cat woman, man. You could do-
All right, guys. Fuck you.
I was watching 6 Feet Under the other day. This really has nothing to do with anything except for like
Rewatching. You should say.
yeah, like things I did, like thinking I made up the word imbecile. And there's this great line from the character Russell, played by that Ben Foster kid.
Sure.
And I don't know if this applies to you guys, but this line really spoke to me. I remember the first time watching it, and then now the second time, where like he's like this total tortured fucking artist kid. And I feel like I have a lot of anxiety and maybe depression, you know, a lot of things that were passed on from mom. And Claire says something about him being such a good person or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, tell that to me next time I'm up at 3:00 in the morning, eating my 4th bowl of cereal, beating myself up over something stupid I said back in the 8th grade.
Ooh.
Isn't that a good line?
It is.
Like, you ever do that? Like, you know, sometimes I'll think of something I said like 2 years ago, or even longer ago, like in school.
Since the nicotine patch, especially.
Well, yeah, but I'm not
My
talking
dream.
about having a dream. I'm just talking about like just sitting there randomly and just thinking of like some bullshit lie I tried to pass off as true or something like that. Like I remember telling Uncle Russ once out of nowhere that like I won a poetry contest in school, completely made that up, and I'll think about that and I'm like, what's wrong with me? It's so obviously a lie. And like I almost want to call him up and be like, hey dude, just you probably already know this, but that was bullshit.
What if Russ is thinking about that right now?
But see, that's
By
what I think.
happenstance,
Like they remember that, and you know, I've got friends who like I've played
Low
poker
places?
with and done stupid things in front of, and yeah, you know, I always think back to that stuff. I
I
just
do,
tried
too.
to turn it down a depressing
I've lied
road.
to a lot of people and don't think I don't relish over that.
I mean, I used to
Relish
be.
is the wrong word. It seems like I'm gloating over it. No.
I used to
fix it.
be that guy that like just told the most insignificant lies for no reason whatsoever, and it's just like so many to keep track of. It's like, hey, did you see this movie? And you say yeah, even though you haven't, and then like a week later
I
you're
feel like to a degree, I'm still guilty of that.
oh yeah, me too, all
Why?
the time.
Why?
All the time.
I think honestly, going back to the poetry thing, that's the last thing I'd fucking lie about.
I know. What am I
Ask you
doing?
to prove it.
If I won a poetry contest, I would lie about it. I didn't fucking win that. Fuck. No.
I see your point.
But that's the thing, though, is I probably did write some gay poem, and I was trying to get him to get me to recite it to him or something like that. Because just that day, I wrote 10 poems and decided I'm a poet now. And
Is that the coolest thing you can lie about at that age? I won the fucking poetry contest.
I mean, what am I going to say? I won a basketball tournament or something like that? That's not going to be true. Jehovah's Witness said we weren't allowed to play basketball.
That's not true. For new listeners, that's not true. That's not true.
We weren't allowed to be like on the school basketball team.
That's true.
You guys could not do anything though. Anything with pop culture or any.
We couldn't do anything like extracurricular at school. It's like that time could be spent knocking on people's doors.
Exactly.
I couldn't imagine like a movement or I guess a religion promoting not doing
they just wanted you to hang out
things
with
like that, you know what I mean?
They don't want you to interact with the outer world.
That's amazing to me. That's amazing. That I guess millions of people at this point
barely, but yes.
And dropping. Yeah.
But I mean such a movement to where like I know I've heard of Jehovah's Witnesses to be able to do that. That's amazing, man.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
I was speaking as Uncle Tracy just then.
I mean, it really kind of is, and it was like
it's a brainwashing society.
But I mean, there's so much hypocrisy in there. Like when you're in school, you can't socialize at all. But like if it's for your business and your work and stuff like that, of course they were socializing all the time with.
Right, but they made sure to say at every assembly or convention, like that's the only reason to talk to anybody is if you're trying to sell them on the pamphlet, but not literally, just donations. Donation band. But otherwise, like you don't talk to your coworkers. Or I guess you do.
You wouldn't sit there and have you're not friends with them.
No,
is all.
PJ and I, growing up, elementary and middle school, we didn't go to high school because we were Jehovah's Witnesses. I feel like was most of it. We were not allowed to have friends in school, although we did it anyway. We brought friends home because mom and dad were lax to a degree.
Right,
but you didn't want anybody from the church finding out about this.
No, nobody could know.
Like when I was on track team, I didn't want anyone to find out, and then when they did, it was a thing. Yeah, I know that was the thing is that I didn't want them to find out. And, when I moved to Yakima and I met Big Red, who you know, Ed, and he's the guy that used to be Jehovah's Witness and was disfellowshipped, and I became friends with him. And our roommate Randy would tell me about how I can't be friends with him, and I'm like, why? He's a really good guy, and it's not like he sits there and bashes the religion to me. We just, talk about.
But even when you were asking why, you knew why. You grew up in it.
And Randy's like, well, then good. You can be the first person to give him a hug when he comes back into the truth. Fuck you! Come on, are you kidding me? Because like.
It makes less and less sense the older you get, except for certain people who are
because because that guy did devote 15 years of his life to the religion is the reason why I would still be allowed to talk to you, Ed, and not him, because you always thought Jehovah's Witnesses were a joke and would never have anything to do with them. But Red actually devoted 15 of his years of his life to it, and then came to that same conclusion. That's why I can't talk to him. I was telling Nick earlier today that I was at High's Grocery the other day and ran into a guy. His name's Ryan, a different one, who we used to know from being in Jehovah's Witnesses. And I said hi to him, and he just looked the other way and completely ignored me.
Because
and it's
that's
like
his duty.
If I was baptized,
as God's servant, he's not allowed to talk to PJ in the parking lot of a fucking convenience.
That's not true though, because it's a technicality. It's a rule. If I was baptized. If I was my brother, that would be the case because Nick was baptized.
And I will argue that he probably thought you were me.
Yeah. And then turned his back on it. So I'm like, no, dude, it's cool. I want to get a shirt that says like, I was never baptized. Just so like, you
should get that shirt made up.
You don't have to pretend not to see me right now because I was never baptized. Your bullshit rules, which that set of rules you live by is why you're now 30 and still a virgin, allows you to talk to me.
Buddy.
Yeah, real good. Like, you fucking just wasted your entire life on something that is so obviously not the truth.
A guy like Ryan will never see that. I feel like he'll die a virgin, unhappy, thinking that he's gonna be resurrected in Armageddon.
And at this point, like, his entire social life is all based around the religion and growing up around the religion, and even girls, even though
but ours was too, to a lesser degree. I don't know his background, but our parents weren't that strict about it. They were off and on.
He grew up in this town and strictly in the religion, to where his only friends ever were in that religion.
Sure.
And he's a little old now to be turning his back on that and starting completely over with, like, family too.
I don't know. I was 24.
But how much family would shun him as opposed to ours? You know, we've still got family who will talk to us when we turn our back on it, because thankfully they have too.
Yeah. But that's
or we're never involved. But a guy like that, like, it's just, no matter what you believe, it's just way too inconvenient to leave that religion at some point. And that's where the cult factor kind of comes in. It's like, really? You want to leave us? You don't believe in us? We're going to make your life fucking hard. And which is so dumb, too, because it's just a group of people. It's just people, man. It's not even people who you work with. It's an extracurricular activity. It's people who you see outside of work and school and everything like that, who just have so much control.
I've never thought of it that way, but that's brilliant.
Who insist on controlling every other aspect of your life. It's like, you only have a few hours a week with us, but the other 95% of your life, you need to be thinking about us and not even getting close to anybody else.
See, it's amazing they can have that kind of grasp on somebody. It's not like they're creditors trying to take your money.
I know.
You know, and
because what can
to a certain degree they are.
All they can do.
I mean, in a different way.
They're not bill collectors, though. They
are.
You
know, God's bill collectors.
All they can do is tell people who know you to ignore you. And that is literally all they can do, and it has so much power.
It does.
Like, it fucking terrifies
That's
people.
why 90% of the Jehovah's Witnesses,
because
your family will turn their backs to you, which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, our family turned against us for different reasons.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe this is legit. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I know.
Do they
it's
believe
crazy.
in Christ? Is that?
Yeah.
They do. Okay.
As God's son.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, our Aunt Lori was way before she came out as lesbian. She was disfellowshipped.
Whoa, this is news to me.
She was disfellowshipped at one point when she was still married and everything like that. And it was about 6 months. And for that entire 6 months, her brother, who she was insanely close to here in town, another Jehovah's Witness, wouldn't talk to her, would not have one word of conversation with her.
They ran into the grocery store. If they were both at the same grocery store and ran into each other, he would turn his back on his own sister. And they came out of the same fucking womb.
And he is, and this guy was like the spiritual head of like the entire extended family, which means his kids, his wife, any of his siblings, and his own mother, if they wanted to be in good standings with him, were going to do the same thing to my Aunt Lori. And now that she's a lesbian, I mean, good God, I mean, it's all over. She has lost her entire family, who she knew for so long.
Cha-ching.
Yeah. but who she knew and was close to for so long, because after 25 years of lying to herself, she decided to go ahead and be out and be who the person she is now. Because it was finally worth it to her and you know, I'm not her, so I can't say all this stuff definitively, but she decided that like,
congratulations, Lori.
Like, okay, like, I'm going to have to just let my brother and the rest of my family be complete fucking assholes and not talk to them anymore, because I'm sick of living my life as a total lie.
Yeah.
Just so this club will keep me in there.
Yeah.
And when had I never joined it, they would all talk to me.
Had I not been born into it,
yeah,
because my mother was susceptible.
Right.
She had a weak moment when some idiot came up to her door in 1949. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ed, do a magic trick. We've gotten way too deep. This is getting way too personal.
I mean, just think about a life, Ed, where like, and it's materialistic.
He wasn't born. Did you have a religious background at all?
To where you not only celebrate,
but
you not only didn't celebrate birthdays or Christmas, but if somebody said Merry Christmas to you, like, you were supposedly obligated to tell them, as like an 11-year-old kid in 6th grade, someone
miserable.
says Merry Christmas to you, and now your response is supposed to be to explain to them, no, I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
And here's why.
I've got this pamphlet in my back pocket, and why don't I talk to you about God for 10 minutes?
Sounds like it's about money, man, to keep this little cult going, man.
And it's fucking torture. I mean, you don't sell them.
Yeah.
It's all based on donations.
At one point you did, but now you don't.
Yeah.
To pass that responsibility on to an 11-year-old kid, man, that's a lot of bullshit, man.
And make that kid feel so guilty if they're not doing it, or if they don't want to go knock on doors and have someone who they go to school with open that door.
Oh, God, that was my worst fear always.
They made me and Nick do it once on the street we lived on.
Insane.
Yeah, it's
and
insane,
the thing is, like, I remember specifically about that day is, like, Nick and I would go along, and we're always kind of, haphazardly in it, at least at that age. And Mom and Dad were obviously terrible in it. They were just cheap. They just didn't want to pay money for Christmas presents. That's why we were witnesses.
That's my theory.
But like the time we were on our street, they knew it was our street, and that is like literally the only time I remember them forcing us to actually knock on doors. They're like, no, now that it's the worst possible scenario, you guys are going to. It's like throwing us in the deep end. Like, just fucking terrible, man. I fucking hated those people.
Showing up at Barbara's house. Had that deal.
God. Oh, my God. Sucked on her titties. That didn't happen. Why was
No.
Say that? What did you ask, Ed, that I interrupted?
No, I was just making a clunky segue to get off of this. Let's talk about magic. Well, no, I'll make it a true segue.
Wants this.
People that believe in magic also believe in God. Go on, Ed.
Okay, what?
I will say, because we've mentioned you're on episode 100. You showed up in the chat room.
I will say that one, like in the same vein to where I'd be like, oh, I want to be a poet now, or I want to be an artist now. Like the things I still do, where I'm like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Like I go up to Ed like last week, I'm like, dude, I got the short story idea. I'll write the first chapter, and like I always do things like that. But one time I went to Uncle Barry, and I'm like fucking 10, 11 years old. I'm like, hey, Uncle, I'm going to be a magician when I grow up. And then now I got to listen to a 2-hour lecture about how magic is evil,
right?
And how I'm worshiping Satan if I fucking want to make a ball disappear under a cup.
To be fair, I was
You got to call Satan for that one, man.
I know.
I'm going to make a quarter appear out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Satan.
Because I remember him specifically talking about like David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty disappear, and even that young, I was like, isn't that just an illusion? And he's like, they had helicopters fly through it, and he went into demonic chants beforehand, and blah blah blah, and that kind of stuff terrifies and makes me feel guilty. Like, oh my God, I'm such a piece of shit for wanting to do that. Let me go pray. And the fact that they made you feel so guilty about masturbating still kills me. Still kills me.
So, as a magician, Ed, do you masturbate?
Totally unrelated, man.
I'm sorry, I thought that's where PJ was going with that.
The devil shit you were talking about with the chants and stuff, man. When I've been out places where I do magic, man, and people are like, man, it's like devil shit, and they say it like,
how often do you get that?
They're not really claiming it. I get it. it depends on the person, and I've had it several times, man.
Yeah, I'm
several
sure.
times, and I think that's such a phenomenal comment, man. That that they can leave me with. I think it's great for them to think that
you're a demon.
Well,
that you summoned
the
something.
conviction there. They're convinced that this is not physically possible. There's no.
I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah. For a simple, a lot of magic, the effect is really simple, and the method is simple. But I mean, there's hours of practice that go into it, and for those hours of practice in front of a mirror, for someone to say that is devil shit, Thank you. I mean, all those hours spent in the bathroom mirror actually meant something,
Yeah, that was like me and masturbating.
Yeah.
Watching you at the bar doing those tricks, it did make me wonder one thing. At what point did you learn to make your coolness disappear?
I thought I was mega fucking cool, man.
Oh, dude, he had a crowd around him. Let's not kid ourselves.
And I made $5. I performed.
I was there for the end. Well,
I did 5 minutes of magic. I made $5 from these girls, man. I made
$60 an hour.
$5, man. And you know what? The funny thing is, the girl that ran into me, I actually served her. She was on a date last night. I served her, did a trick for her, and she requested that I do this trick again. And of course, I didn't want to go into the same trick, so I did some other bullshit with some other close-up shit. And then I finally did it because she didn't. Hopefully, I was hoping she would forget about it and just walk off.
Right.
She's like, okay, you got to do that trick you did last night. So I did it, and they flipped the fuck out. What was my point? What were you?
All I know is that we were waiting for you to get off shift at your the place that you work.
Yeah.
We were waiting for you to show up, and we didn't know what because you were closing, so we didn't know when you were going to be there.
Yeah.
And then we're looking outside. What is it that you said, PJ?
There's Ed. He's doing fucking magic out there, of course. Because for some reason we kept talking about you being a magician the whole time, about how it wouldn't really work.
Yeah,
on
we
the
were waiting
podcast.
for you, and we were inside, like, ordering another beer.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, we look outside, and there you are doing a fucking trick, and 20 people are crowded around you.
Wow.
So I came out towards the end of it, but it still looked impressive to me, man.
Now, I heard something, and you can tell me if this is true, that your friends are the worst people to do magic for, because they're always going to be the ones that are trying to call out, like, the actual trick part
You
of
spent
it.
hours in front of the mirror, man. I know you did.
No, not even that, because that obviously someone's going to practice the magic tricks, but that your friends
I
are
just assume demons.
that your
Mirrors are not involved.
your friends are going to be the ones who are just watching your hands intently the entire time, trying to find how they can nail you.
That
for,
doesn't sound like a friend to me.
I just figured out how you fucking did that. That like a stranger, like a table you're waiting on, is the best audience because they just want to be pleased.
You know,
But like you go up to like your brother or something like that, and he just wants to like call you out for knowing how you did that trick.
You know, my brother is actually one of the people that I go to and like, okay, I'm working on this new trick. He knows my methods and shit, and he knows what I do, and he's really great.
Whoa. Magician doesn't tell his tricks.
Man.
Is that the phrase even?
You got to have buddies around.
Sure.
And so my brother's one of them, and he'll tell me what sucks and what's bullshit. But he knows when I'm putting on an act. You know, PJ, like serving tables, you take on another person. If there was a kind, heartwarming, gentle person inside of you, that's you when you're serving.
Yeah.
You know, and
If only.
yeah,
If only.
and that, you know, I'm bubbly when I go up to tables and stuff.
Voice goes up an octave or two.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Oh man, it's so fucking wicked to catch Ed at a table.
It's
be like,
so bad.
Hey guys, you want some more breadsticks? And like fucking he'll look over and see you and just start
Yeah.
like just be an asshole to his table to totally make up for it. Or,
Yeah, I've caught you though. I've caught
I know.
you say some bullshit.
I know,
too.
because like I'll say something and then I'll go in the kitchen and Ed yells it from across the kitchen. Hey guys, well the best one was we got those cheese graters on the food and I walk by Ed right as he's like, hey guys, feeling cheesy?
Hey, they eat that shit right up, man. They
do.
eat
They
it
like
right
it,
up.
man.
They love it.
They love it.
They love it, man.
But anyway, back to your brother.
Hey, he's great for that. He's great for that. For me going and showing him new ideas and stuff. What was the other point? Besides my brother, there was another point. Friends. Doing it for friends. You know, I brought up the point. Going up to tables, you take on a different, persona, a different character, and I think a lot of the magic.
Cheesy. Sorry, it just struck me again.
I think that's the name of the episode.
You're not the one to say what the name of the episode
Oh,
is,
I'm
by the way.
sorry. That's
Our show.
totally not the name of the episode.
I just ask the tables if they want to cheese it up. And that's a true statement.
People see through the bullshit. Friends will see through my bullshit,
Yeah.
man. A lot of the misdirection, in tricks and stuff, man, it's built into the things I say in my bullshit and things I normally wouldn't say to
What do you
friends
mean
or
by
family.
that? Do you try to get physically get them to look the other way?
No, not even that, man. Just like justifying my actions that I do. If here, let me grab my magic wand. Oh, it's not in this pocket. Oh, it's over here. Just something
And the whole
like that.
time you're working it, right?
I'm
Like,
working
there's
it.
Something going
I'm
on.
working it.
Yeah.
The magician in trouble thing.
Yeah.
I'm not in trouble, and hopefully I'm never in trouble. But
Right.
there's a bunch of bullshit that I do and say to justify my actions for a particular.
Now, by
sleight of
in
hand,
trouble, do you mean that you got pregnant before you were married?
Yes.
I did a magic show in school. It must have been between 3rd and 5th grade because I was in the
You
highly
serious?
capable program. Yeah, there was a talent show, and I read up some magic tricks.
What'd
and
you do?
So I did it for the class.
What'd you do?
Couldn't have gone worse. It was terrible.
This. I don't know.
What
This.
tricks did you do? What'd you do?
There was one where, like, well, first of all, I showed up to school and I was never prepared for anything. So, like, I didn't have any of the stuff that I had practiced with. But there was one where, like, you put a plate over a glass and, like, you tap on it. And you have a penny on top and you tap it and you make it fall through the plate. Because really, you've got, like, the penny stuck to the bottom with soap or something. And it failed. Everyone's like, it's under the plate. And there was something about, like, making, like, a paper clip appear inside of a box, and it, like, fell out while I was trying to, like, the 3 paper clips that you have propped in there.
Can't celebrate Christmas. Imagine
I
how
know.
pathetic this kid
I
is.
know, dude.
It's assholes like you making my job fucking harder.
Making you look better.
It's your job.
They see shit like that, and
Do you consider it your job? I'm sorry. I hate to stop
You got
you.
trying to
$5
make it
today.
there, man. You know, I asked someone, "You want to see some magic?" Fuck no, you know, because they saw your routine.
I know, probably. And those kids are going to be a bad audience for you from now on.
Yeah,
Because the
man.
thing is, I told them how all the tricks work, too.
Let me ask you this, Ed. You being in the profession and all.
Oh yeah,
I've seen David Blaine levitate on the street. How does that happen? Do you know?
yeah,
You do?
I do.
Would you reveal that trick? It's not your trick.
Would I reveal it? I can't reveal it,
you don't
man.
have to do that.
You can't?
You don't want to ruin the illusion, right?
It's not his illusion. I've never seen Ed
Well-
levitate on the street.
Well, if you
I
know
hate-
how he does it, then couldn't you do it?
I'd hate to be just if I revealed it, man. I'd get blackballed from all the forums.
That's
I'm on,
true. Come
online,
on.
man. All my magic buddies, man.
We've
I'm
seen
done.
Arrested Development.
to be fair, the only listeners of the show are us 3.
Oh, so okay. PJ never told me how many downloads you guys have. It's
this-
confidential.
this is it. This
So
is
you blew it. 3 downloads.
No, that really was like I got chills. Also, one time
Were they multiplying?
dumb that I laughed.
Why'd you laugh?
Do you really know though?
Yeah.
You don't have to say it on the show,
I mean, there's a million different ways you can have someone apparently levitate.
but it's on the street. Like it's
Can
not
you-
like
can
it was
you
on
confirm
stage with
this?
mirrors
Is it on the street?
It
Nick?
was on the street the
Can-
one time I saw it.
Can you
Oh,
confirm?
is that what you're asking? I see now.
Is it
Can
on the
you
street?
confirm this that
What's
he
that?
didn't defy gravity and levitate in the air?
No, man, and he'd be the first person to admit that it's an illusion. you know?
Yeah.
You're,
Okay.
you're
Well,
a
that's good.
visual artist at that point, you know.
Yeah.
Also, when Carson Daly, I mean, I guess he still has that show, but when he had a stage and an actual persona
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
on his late night show, David Blaine was on one time, and it was an interview at first, and he's just like asking,
I saw this.
yeah, how things are going on, and then I'll never forget it because I got chills in the moment, and then I
Were they multiplying?
realized, shut the 2 times in 2 minutes.
I'm losing control.
You gotta.
Go ahead, Nick. It's electrifying.
But yeah, so Carson Daly's asking about his life, not about magic, which should have been the tip off. Yeah, so he like this full theatrical thing where he mentions like, how's your relationship going with whoever? And he's like, David Blaine all of a sudden gets really depressed, and he's like, and he starts talking about how things are not going well, and then he not literally is wrong,
Not literally. Anything but.
figuratively, no,
He appeared to.
more so literally than figuratively, but yes, he appeared to, as he was talking about his troubled marriage or relationship, pull his heart out while he was sitting there.
How did it look?
It looked pretty realistic.
Really?
That's why I got
Okay.
chills at the time.
Yeah.
And they were multiplying, PJ,
Yeah.
for the 3rd time over.
Dude, you better shape up. 'Cause
I'll lose control.
I need a man.
I've
I'm
never.
glad that you were left with the I need a man line. Go on, Ed.
No,
How
I
do you
was saying
explain
I
how-
had never seen that. I had never seen that. I'm
You ever rip your heart out, Ed?
I'm sure that you could pull it up online, but I'm asking, are you a talented enough magician to pull your heart out for our listeners right
You want me to do it right now?
Yeah.
I'll totally do it right now.
I dare you to, let's end the show with Ed ripping his own heart out.
But if you're David Blown, you can.
David Blaine.
Or Penis and Teller.
Yeah, you're a
Chris
fucking.
Angel mindfuck.
You're a millionaire who like can afford to go on TV and have this team of and go, oh, I'd like to make it look like I ripped my own heart out of my
Yeah.
chest, and now you've got 10 like magic experts sitting around.
Yeah, we
Going,
saw
okay,
Temple
how-
of Doom, and what was that, 84?
How can we make this happen? And they fucking do it.
Yeah, it wasn't really a magic trick. I'll agree with that.
It's
Right?
not a practical magic trick. You know, okay, look, you got to think about the medium that they're performing at. Me, I'm trying to perform at restaurants and whatnot, so I got to think about things that'll pack flat, that'll be in my pocket.
Right. You got a deck of cards.
You deck of cards. I have a heart in my pocket that I'm going to rip out. You know, that's I'm trying to say that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
so
sure.
he utilizes the medium that he's performing. He's performing for a television audience. So, and that's how they plan that stuff out. You know, okay, so what's the best illusion we can do while utilizing the medium of television?
I'm
I'm not saying that the people that were there weren't fooled. I'm not saying they're in on it, but
I was in on it.
He's
And
not
I'm
gonna
a
do it on the
fucking-
street.
I'm sitting in my room, watching
Yeah.
this at 1:30 in the morning. That's probably why. I was probably hammered out of my head.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's actually ripping his heart out.
Like a
Because
shark.
that's not pre-taped. They would leave that on. That wouldn't have been a news story 6 hours before
I
when
know.
it actually taped. I'm a fucking idiot. Ed, it's been a pleasure.
Wait, why are you an idiot? Were you asking, did he literally rip his heart out?
For
or-
a second, I did in my own head when I watched that, yes.
Hey, actually, I think I have a trick we can do kind of on the podcast.
Is that-
Okay.
It would work audio?
I think I audio it'll work for you guys. It'll work for some of the audience members too.
So I'll act
All the millions of
No matter
listeners.
what, I promise. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. I want to get really quiet. All right.
Impossible. Go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna have you think of a number. You shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
What was that?
I said it's Kim Possible. I'm
That's
sorry.
not a joke.
I know.
And I laughed too hard.
We gotta listen to Ed. He's Ron Stoppable.
Okay, we're gonna think of a number. Go on, Ed.
Okay. You're gonna think of a number.
1 million.
Fuck you.
Sorry,
that was
TJ.
not it. Wrong.
Sorry.
First of all, I
Sorry.
feel like part of the
I know.
trick is that we have to be quiet and concentrate, right?
You gotta concentrate, man.
Okay, we're gonna end on this.
It's part of the dramatic buildup. Here,
Okay.
Okay. Think of a number from 1 through 50. We're gonna make it really hard, though. For me, we're gonna make it really difficult. I want you to think of an odd number, and to make it even more difficult, I want you to make sure each number is an odd number, but different digits. So, number from 1 through 50, an odd number, both digits are different digits, but they're both odd numbers. Okay, so lock that number into your mind right now. Everybody in the audience is hopefully doing this.
I'm sure they are.
I want you to focus and really send it to me. And the number you're thinking of is 37.
Oh my God!
No.
It was 37.
I changed
That was not.
You
a false
changed it.
I
reaction.
changed it.
I knew that.
It was 37, and I changed it to 17. But
Wow.
good. It was 37.
Because I was going up and down. I
Yeah.
had. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have 47 until
How
they.
many odd numbers are there?
It was
in the English
47 until they
Let's
both
analyze
had to
the
be
fuck
odd.
out of it.
language? No, it's not.
It was
It's not.
47
It's more
until
fun
they
if we
both
don't.
had to be odd. Then it was 37, and then I switched it to 17. But that was good.
God, that
Yeah.
was too good. I'm
Oh,
creeped
cool.
out.
Thanks.
Please leave.
Hey, all right. Hey,
I'm
you
gonna
guys have a
rip
good
your
night.
heart
Thanks
out.
for the beer. See you later. I'll be in my bathroom in front of the mirror doing more shit.
Sorting shit out.
Hungry hippos on the carpet. My lips are smacking gum that I bought from the market. We couldn't have had more fun. Said these are the good times. Said these are the good times. Cause we're scrounging up our change just to get some cash. Spending it on drugs just to wind up in the trash. Said these are the good times. Welcome to the show.
As a professional magician, go with the name 37. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Can if you practice in front of the mirror long enough, could you make Nick's ugly face disappear?
No, I probably put some semen on top of it. That's about it.
Depends how long you had in front of the mirror, I guess.